welcome to my channel, Fred Makes Things. This is part 2 of my Scrappy fabric project, I think is what I called it. I don't quite remember. Part 1 was up 2 weeks ago. It was how I ended up like piecing all of this fabric together to make like larger sections of fabric. So if you want to see that, check out that video. Today we're going to talk about what I turned that fabric into, like those pieces that I cut into, and that is this lovely little creation. So yeah, I'm going to do this video in 4 parts like I usually do Sewers Club project breakdowns, just hopefully to help me stay on track. I'm filming a lot of videos in the next, well, this is the second video of today. We'll see how I sound when I do the next video. But anyway, I refer you to my life update video from a couple weeks ago, if you want to know what that's all about. Anyways, so this video is going to be in 4 parts. Part 1 is the introduction, inspiration, how I went about preparing for this lovely project. Part 2 is assembling the project. Part 3 is pros, cons, and user error. And then part 4 is final thoughts and sign off. I'm hoping to make this quick and succinct, but if you've seen any of my sewing videos, you know that's almost impossible. So let's start with part 1. So if you've seen my part 1 for this video, then you know that I have like a bucket ton of scrap fabric. I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to things like that, things that could possibly be used for something else. I tend to have a really hard time throwing them away. I've gotten better at it, especially after joining the Buy Nothing group, because I know that if I can't use something, someone in that group probably can. So that's helped a lot. But anyway, so I took my fabric scraps and I created panels basically for this project. As I was working, or as I was planning the scraps together, I realized I needed to have a game plan for the final project. So I came up with this lovely diagram full of like numbers and math and things like that. If I had been thinking, I would have been able to use my add a quarter plus ruler that I got from a box a couple of weeks ago or months ago, and everything would have been easier. What I could have done is measured out templates for everything and then use that add a quarter plus to add a 1/4 inch seam allowance to everything, and made my math a lot easier and a lot faster. But at the time I completely forgot about the math. So basically what happened is that I had all this scrap material and I wanted to make something with it. Then I came across somebody on Instagram. I believe her name was Joe, June, and May. And she was doing a tutorial on how to put together a whole bunch of like scrap material. And that is when the light bulb went off and I knew exactly what I was going to do. Then if you saw my other video, you know that I slightly tweaked my plans and thoughts, and now here we are to talk about it. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what this is just yet. But I will say, I think it's pretty cool. And with that, let's just get into part 2. I have no idea if I just explained anything well enough or not, but there you go. I wanted to make something. I had a specific purpose in mind that I don't want to tell you just yet. And then I went about planning it. And then I even covered up the name of the thing I was making to hold the suspense a little bit longer. Yeah, so let's talk about how I put this together. So part 2, assembling the project. I've already filmed this video and it did not well. There was a lot of babbling, especially in this part. So let's see if I can do it better this time around. So as I was piecing together these strips of fabric to make large pieces of fabric, I said to myself, why make a bunch of strips and then cut them down? Why not just cut them to this, or make them to the size that you needed? And so that's what I did. I made one large rectangle, which was my first rectangle, which is this back piece. I made it true to length at 10 inches, but then I realized that I needed to cut it down a little bit to make all of the edges even. So that's how I ended up with this strip down the middle. What I should have done is cut this 11 inches long by like 22.5 inches wide, because I needed to end up with a 10-inch by 22-inch body. But I learned that on the biggest piece, so that when I did all of my interior pieces, it made better sense. So, yeah, so on the interior, I looked at all of the measurements that I needed from, this. And as I was sewing my pieces together, I formed the pieces. Then I realized that I didn't need to have like the back pieces, like the parts that you don't see the same pieced together look. So I took scrap white fabric that I had from Lord knows which project and just lined everything with white, so that I could like really maximize the amount of scraps that I could use on the front part. So yeah, then I sewed all my pieces together, and then I went with the way that Sewers Club had you do that sewing wallet from January of 2021, and I pieced together my interior. So my exterior is all one large piece sewn together, but my interior is a bunch of little pieces sewn together. First thing I did was tackle this like pocket thing here, and I made that first. I made the pocket and the gusset. I sewed those together first. Then I did these pockets, this section of pockets next. So I have two pockets here, right, with the back. So I made this as one whole piece, and then this is one whole piece. And then I attached them together. This strip was kept separate. These two strips were kept separate. I'm not sure why. And then this was separate as well. And this was separate as well. Everything was still rectangular at this point. Then I sewed together my interior body, and I took like these two strips and these two strips and this section, this larger section. This is I think 2 inches because it's to accommodate the thickness of this. And then the interior piece on here, right? This whole thing was the interior body sewn together without any obvious like joins or breaks in the fabric, right? It looks like intentional, right? Like one continuous piece, like the front, and I like that. Then I attached this pocket with the gusset to this side, right? So then my exterior was finished and my interior was finished. I left this open. And to make the gusset kind of sit more flat, I did a top stitch around it to pull the gusset in. And I did the same thing at the end as well. So from there, I did right sides together, sewed all the way around, leaving a gap up here so that I could turn the project inside out. Leaving this side open as well. Wait, that's not correct. Normally I address this during pros, cons, and user error, but I'm going to address it quickly now. So I had them right sides together, and then I sewed all of this together, leaving a gap on this side because I knew I was going to be making this point. Because of this point, and I ended up going back and doing something different. So anyway, everything was sewn together. Then I found the center point for here, measured 3 inches in, I believe, or 2.5 inches in. I don't quite remember how far in I went. Well, I guess we can check. Yeah, so I went 3 inches in, cut the triangle. That is when I did the magnetic closure and the handmade sign as well, when I had this open. Then I realized, or then I had to try to figure out how to close this, keeping it nice and clean. And what I ended up doing is opening up the side here at the top, this section here. You can see it's kind of puckered. I didn't realize that. But here, I reopened this seam, turned everything inside out. Or was everything inside out again? I don't quite remember. Hopefully the pictures show. But anyway, I had this open so that I could sew the point closed. Then I turned everything right sides out, ironed everything flat, and did another top stitch all the way around, sealing this top. I have some hand stitching I need to do up there. It's a little bit of a mess. But seal this top, run a top stitch through this side of the gusset so that it lies flat for the most part inside, and then you can fold it up and be done with it. The handmade take is a little lopsided. I'm okay with that because I think it kind of fits with the like scrappy pieced together look of the project as a whole. So yeah, that's how I did it. Basically, to sum things up, I made the exterior, I pieced together the interior, I sewed it together, formed the point, sewed it together again, flipped it inside out, did a top stitch, and called it done. So yeah, that's it. Now, after teasing you a few minutes ago, I'll show you what I made this for. I made it for this stack of papers, my Sewers Club projects, like my patterns and stuff. I had them just in a oversized folder portfolio thing. I don't see it close at hand to show you, but in an oversized portfolio thing. And it was getting a little unruly. So what I did is I made it, these are the standard size for the patterns, right? They slide into this pocket here. Like that. These are the monthly cards. I keep everything because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm a bit of a hoarder. But these cards help me decide or refer back quickly to the things that I'm talking about. And then these are just some extra pieces, right? This is my whale pattern for my whale from February. and my Bull Cozy pattern from January. These all slide into this top section. At some point I might have to retire this or make a new one. Right, retire some of these cards or make a new one of these. But for now, everything is still fitting. There's still plenty of room on both sides for more things. Then some like extra little cards I have for in here. And this pocket is also designed to, not that. To hold the current month that I'm working on. So like for June, I have to find this piece for that, but right, I would have like the June stuff sitting here, right? And then this part would just be easy to pull out. There's a sneak peek to next week's project or 2 weeks from now's project. But yeah, and then I can fold it up, right? And I made this blue piece thick or wide enough that I can just slide them together, and now it's together. So I named this project Scrappy Sewers Club Pattern Keeper. Yeah, that's how creative I was. But anyway, that's what I did. When I was tidying up all of my scraps, I realized that I have probably enough scrap to do something similar in like the peachy orange pink family as well. So I might make that in the future and talk about it. If it's a different project, I will talk about it on the channel. If not, you might see it in like the Christmas wrap up. But yeah, so there you go. So now let's talk pros, cons, and user error. Well, first pro, I now have somewhere to hold all of my Sewers Club stuff and some miscellaneous. These are some of my favorite colors. Like, I'm sure if you've heard anything lately, it's that I'm a huge fan of like teals, turquoises, the blues. I love batiks. There's a lot of batik pieces in here. In my last, or when I was making the Scrappy project, I asked if you recognized any of the patterns or any of like where some of these projects came from, and some were guessed correctly, and most didn't know. So I'll just quickly say, this blue pebbly material, so this piece, this piece, this piece, there's 3 different blues. So this dark blue, this light blue, and then this medium blue are all from my batik fabric runner or table runner from a couple of months ago, or from last year. This light blue swirl and this purpley swirl, and this piece here, they come from the shopping bag from February? I don't remember. There's shopping bag. This sparkly here, this one, this like little piece. There's a lot of it in here. This piece, right? Those are all the same. This one, they come from my Sewers Club Revisit, or bonus project, or bonus pattern, alternative pattern, cushion cover from September. This little bit of here and here come from my February project revisit, making those pot holders. This little bit of poinsettia fabric that I have, it's like here, and I think there's one other spot for it here. This comes from a makeup bag from last year, and also from the sewing machine caddy that I have, that I made, which is also where this butterfly fabric and this little strip here and here of this lampshade fabric comes from. So I believe that's it. 5 or 6 different projects. Pictures of all of them have been popping up on your screen for you to see what I'm talking about. And yeah, so big fan, being able to like reuse pieces, have so many pieces from Sewers Club incorporated into it. Yeah, and also being able to use some of the skills that I'm picking up from Sewers Club to create something like this. I'm very quite proud of myself for it. Let's talk cons. Because I came up with this project on my own and I designed every aspect of it, even if there are cons, I probably don't recognize them as cons because I made it myself. So we're going to skip right over that. There are, as far as I am concerned at this moment in time, there are no cons. User error. Oh boy, there's a bit of it. So as I was talking before, I should have thought out a better way to do this point. I've never made a pointed piece like this. So I worked it out, I figured it out, but I'm going to call that a user error. Also, I didn't flatten out this stuff as well as I could have. So some of my like pieces are a little puckered, or like could have been like ironed out better, flattened out a little bit better, but I'm not upset with that either. And my biggest user error is trying to create this, what I call gusset. I should have looked online to see how they actually had you do it. It worked out fine in the end, but I wish I had done it a little bit better. And that's all I can think of for user error. Because I love this project so much, I don't care about the imperfections. This too, I guess, I could have made that a little straighter. But again, I didn't care. Kind of like it a little wonky. Alright, final thoughts and sign off. I don't know if I mentioned it in this version of this video or not, but this is video number 2 of 4 that I'm recording today. So yeah, if things sound off, I'm sorry about that. Trying to pre-film as much as I can before I take off. But yeah, I like this project. I'm very happy with this project. If you would like to make something like this for yourself as well, let me know in the comments. Like, I can create a better version, like maybe a PDF or something, use Photoshop, or something to build a better instructions and pattern for you. If you like, that's something I could do and post somewhere for you to get your hands on it if you like, or get you to hit me up via email or something. We can work out a way that if you want this pattern, just let me know and I will try to make it available. I don't know when that would happen, probably August, if I'm going to be honest. But let me know if you want to see that available as a PDF so you could try to make it yourself. Yeah, okay. Subscribe if you like this content, if you want to see more sewing content. Every Wednesday there is some sort of sewing content video that's going up. Every Friday is a long-term project that I am working on, and every Monday is usually miscellaneous, but this month has been just unboxings. And with that, I will say like the video if you've made it to the end, or like the video if you like the project or my rambling, or you know, whatever. I like likes. YouTube likes as well. And with all of that being said, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you if you made it to the end. I appreciate you so much. To all of the new subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. I don't think I've said that in any of my videos. I'm filming these all out of order too, so hello and welcome if I haven't said it already, or if I've already said it in another unboxing video. I still appreciate you and all that jazz. All that jazz. Jeez. Okay, I'm gonna go. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye!